Hi guys. I'm just going to show you a couple of different techniques to use using the ballpoint pen or a different sort of pen. Um, and I have another video up about, just like this is really light pressure. So this is me treating the pen like a pencil, and that's how this works. If you haven't been able to achieve that, it has to do with your patience level and making it work and trying it again and again, and just kind of managing the level of pressure you're putting on your pen. So I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques that also work for shading with a pen. Basically, shading with a pen is all about marks. Less marks equal lighter value. So this technique here is called hatching. All of the lines will go in the same direction, and you can see that I am working. They won't overlap. It does take some practice to get them all reasonably straight, and the closer they get together, the darker my value will be. So hatching is a technique that you can give a try for working with a pen, because we're going to do a couple of drawings with a pen, so I want you to be fairly comfortable with working with a pen. Also, like making sure that you're doing a really light outline. So see how super light I get the outline. If you're struggling to get a light outline with the pen, go ahead and use a pencil. And now when I go to hatch my sphere, I am just going to gradually add more and more hatching and hatch lines so they get closer and closer together to give the effect of shading. These hatch marks can also like follow the form of an object. So, when I'm doing the sphere, you can see even though it's shaded effectively, because the lines are straight, the sphere has a flat kind of feeling. So you can also, it takes a little more practice, shade with lines that curve around the form. Okay, so hatching with curved lines or with straight lines. Hi, S. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. We're working. The next sort of technique that you can try is called cross hatching. So it's like hatching, except it goes in multiple directions. So again, less marks farther apart mean lighter value, making that come closer and closer together as we come towards where I want it to be darker. And then I find it easiest to turn and add a cross. Again, going to gradually have them get closer and closer together. And turn again. Just so we kind of have multiple directions. The more, again, the more hatch lines you have, the closer they are together, the darker in appearance your value will be until you achieve full, like, density. And this is basically what I'm doing with the ballpoint pen, the other direct, like, to shade with it. I'm just doing it in such a way that the marks are really, really light and sort of glancing on the page. So you can kind of see that in order to like pick this trail up, my hand sits on the paper and my hand comes back on the pen. Versus when I'm hatching, notice I'm holding the pen like I'm gonna write with the pen. And that's where the difference comes in terms of achieving the different visual effect of the shaded hatching versus the actual cross hatching. It's a lighter touch not so much pen pressure like this, but pen pressure like just with the plastic of the pen itself. So this is called crosshatch. Again, you can crosshatch a sphere, same thing. I can actually just add crosshatching to the sphere that I already have. So for some of you, a couple of these different techniques might be a little bit easier to achieve. Like I looked through some of the results from yesterday and it looks like shading with the ballpoint pen was a struggle. I don't recommend you give it up. I recommend that you keep practicing. But here are a couple of different techniques that you might find more appealing in terms of just their visual texture. Depending on the kind of pen you have, you can also try stipple. Stipple is the dots, right? It doesn't work super great with one of these regular ballpoint pens. It does work better with a gel pen or with one of these, like a rollerball style of pen, or with a felt tip pen. Stipple is better. I'm going to give it a go here with my ballpoint. And it's dots. So stipple is dots. So less dots, farther apart is going to be lighter value. And you'll see you don't want them to look like little check marks. You do distinctly want them to be dots. So you do have to kind of hold your pen straight up and down. And more dots closer together is going to give us darker value. So the closer these dots are together, the darker that value is going to look. And like I said, this is with the ballpoint. And I'll switch to, this is like a felt tip pen, and you can see that because it's a markery kind of pen, the dots just go down on the paper a little nicer than with the ballpoint. So if you can't find a ballpoint pen at home, like I said, if you haven't gone to get the supplies and all you have is a gel pen or this kind of markery kind of pen, or if you find that you're frustrated shading the other way, these would be some things to try today instead, before we start talking about what project are we going to do with pen. All right, have fun. Practice again using some of these different techniques.